saw this video the other day talking about the difference between small business owners, like their right to exist and their right to success. And it kind of hit me in a certain way. I will link that video in the comments, but here is a quick clip from it, introducing the thought and kind of the point that I'm going to talk about.
So there's this really interesting thing that happens in small business owners, and I do believe that it's because many small business owners probably lean conservative, that they believe that because they exist in the marketplace, they have a right to success in the marketplace. And they want to play this sort of moral superiority and be upset with people for not patronizing them when they're literally price gouging people. Take a look at this, as it stands from, every small shop that wants to charge 50, 100, 150% more than you'd get the same thing on Amazon for. Well, I'm local. You want to support a small business? I have to support me first.
So somehow I have landed in the group known as small business owners, and there are certain things in this video that really resonated with me, particularly about like business owners that seem to have a level of entitlement around their success or around their customers or fill in the blank. The video was a reply to another creator's video which gave an example about someone saying that if an item is $30 in your small business and $10 on Amazon, like ain't no way I'm buying that from your store. And I agree. I want to call attention to it, not because I agree with it, which I do, but because of how the thought aligns with a load of stuff that I just brought into the shop this week and how it relates to, making pricing decisions in the store and just when it comes to physical media. I might make a video about this on its own, but wanted to at least plant a seed of an idea so you know where I'm coming from and have some context for pricing on the new arrivals that came in this week. Because along with the regularly priced stuff, you're going to see things that are no longer just like $3, $4, $5, $7. There is a wave of stuff that is priced, CDs and DVDs in the $10s and $20 range. So I wanted to explain why I'm doing that and what these are, particularly within the conversation around price gouging. When I see a store charging at or above like eBay prices, simply because they can or they think that they have a right to do so. To that point, I think you can look at certain things through the lens of having like a convenience fee. To have the item right here, right now, see the condition it's in. You don't have to worry about it being damaged in shipping or being, there's some like deceptive side of things on eBay where someone doesn't, speak to the true condition it's in or something like that. You can immediately take it home with you. There's value in all that. But also, in most cases, that value is pretty marginal. So to say that immediately deserves a significant markup just to have it in your store because it's your store, you kind of lose me there. And this is kind of the part of the video that I wanted to elaborate on with receipts, breaking down, like the take-home dollar amount that a seller gets when selling on Amazon, eBay, or in person, or at least what my own personal take-home amount is, because I wanted to show the illusion of equity, like comparing the price of what you're selling something for online and what you're selling it for in store is not an apples to apples comparison because of the inherent fees built in, the scope of, the customer base that item is then shown to or provided to, and labor considerations. Now, me being me, I actually went through the exercise of breaking down the finances of, what the take-home dollar amount is after seller fees, processing fees, platform fees, and all the other baked-in charges that are associated with selling both online and in a brick and mortar. I will save you from all of that right now and just say that if you were selling on Amazon, I'm just going to use like a $15 item as an example, and you're using their Fulfilled by Amazon program where like you send stuff into Amazon and they take care of the rest, you're going to make about 35 to 40% more, like that's going to be your take-home dollar amount when selling in a brick and mortar than you would doing that. Or on eBay where you have to photograph, list, prep, package, send your own items and deal with customer service online, you are typically going to be taking home at least 5 to 10% more when selling through your brick and mortar. So here's why that matters. If you walk into a store and see someone charging the same price as what they see items selling for on eBay. Now, mind you, sold items are far different than what they're listed at. Anyone can charge whatever price they want, but it's what they actually sell at that counts. they're immediately going to be taking home a larger portion of that money for doing less work on selling that specific item. And the biggest thing is the eBay price is the price that's given to buyers globally. So if you can see that, for the sake of discussion, that item has sold 3 times in the last 3 years for $15, that means the demand nationally, if not beyond, is for about one of those items per year at that scale, when everyone who uses eBay has access to it, right? So when shrinking that potential pool of customers down to a city like Cedar Rapids, that's much less people, and to an even smaller pool of people who are aware the shop exists and might be interested to find a difficult or like hard to find Corey Haim DVD. Should that price then be the same as what it goes for on eBay? Doesn't seem to make sense to me. So that's kind of where I'm at. This week I brought in a ton of stuff that was in my eBay pile, along with stuff that's actually listed on eBay right now. It's sort of an experiment, and I want to see, can I offer premium, rare, hard to find things in the store priced well below what the eBay prices are at and still make things work. I will follow up with that next week and just kind of let you know how it went. And there's one more change I want to bring up about the premium items that are in the shop, those being like the boutique 4K and Blu-ray releases along that back wall. Not long ago, I wanted to really nail down the pricing, recognizing that places like Barnes & Noble or even the production companies themselves typically run seasonal 50% off sales. And I concluded on knocking the price down 25% off retail and throwing in a free used DVD as a bonus add-on. I'm sorry, this is me flippy-floppy jumping back and forth here on this, but I'm going to remove that last part. Here's why. So at least half of the time people buying these titles, when they get to the counter, I let them know, hey, you can get a free DVD with this. They either didn't see the sign, so they didn't care, or they just haphazardly grab one, or they just straight up pass entirely and say no, that is not for me, thank you. Which makes sense. People who want the highest resolution experience probably don't want a DVD. Didn't really think about that. But also, I've been told several times, hey man, I'm just here to support, So it's sort of like me forcing myself to do something that isn't even really being asked for or cared about. And that ultimately doesn't work. So this week, when the Criterion Collection prices go back up to full price, mine will stay at 25% off. And the same goes for stuff like Severin, which I just brought another load in from them, which you cannot get at Barnes & Noble. So that's how I'm going to approach things for the next little while. And I know I have already rambled on long enough, but I do want to mention one last thing. The in-store soundtrack this week has 3 new releases, which is a crazy, crazy thing to me. Had you told me I'd be in this position roughly 4 months into this, stocking stuff that is coming out the day of, I probably would have doubted you. Robyn's album in particular is one I'm really thrilled about, which, despite being wildly different than Kim Gordon's, which came out a couple weeks ago, it hits for me in the same way. The spirit of her work is so remarkably empowering. And I've been a fan since way back when she was first shaped and molded as someone who was going to be the next Britney or Christina among that cast of really forgettable singers of that era. I might make another video just about the playlist because there's a few other things in there that are very personal to me, but time is ticking fast these days and I have a lot to do. So with that, I am off. And I hope to see you in the shop sometime this weekend.